Well, good evening, good night, good day. Hello, and welcome to the show today. The title of the show today is Who Can Vouch For You? So we're gonna get into the vouching system of who, when you're traveling, when you're a Mason, who can vouch for you? Who can actually say beyond your own jurisdiction that you are a Mason? So let's delve into that tonight. Let's look at that. And I certainly want to welcome you aboard tonight because this is definitely going to get interesting. So if you want to call in, certainly you have the right to do so. This platform here is not like any other platform on YouTube. So I want to welcome you to the show. So we take on all callers, be it Masons, non-Masons, Eastern Stars, be it non-Eastern Stars. We want people to get an understanding of what this great fraternal order of the Masons and Eastern Stars is all about. So we're gonna talk about some things tonight as far as that is concerned, like who can vouch for you, who can actually say that you are who you say you are. So I'm gonna share this with you. This was a gift that was given to me some years ago. This was from my Grand Lodge when I was after I had stepped out of office as Grand Master. They gave me this a real trial. It says Grand Master Tony Hawkins from John G. Jones Grand Lodge, June 16, 2012. They gave this to me as my departing gift as Grand Master. That simply tells me that I took the working tool of a master mason and I did the job of spreading the cement of brotherly love. Now, how many of us can actually say that? How many of us can actually say who can vouch for me as a Mason, as an Eastern Star? Does my character meet that of being who I say I am? Do I have the right credentials? Am I in the right Grand Lodge? Am I in the right organization and say that anybody can vouch for me? That's what we have to look at. That's what we're talking about tonight. So I want to welcome everybody to the show. So if you want to call in tonight, that number, as always, at this time is 619-985-1184. So we want to welcome you on to the show tonight, letting you know, hey, this is what Masonry is all about: being able to travel in foreign countries and receive master wages as such. And if you feel that you qualify to do that, then truly somebody somewhere can vouch for you and truly say that you are who you say you are, a Mason or an Eastern Star. Now, so let's take a look at this thing that we call an Eastern Star. An Eastern Star, a sister, a wife of a Master Mason. Not someone who's been adopted or someone who has been vouched for. I'm talking about a true sister of the order. And I'm going back into the landmarks of Freemasonry, what I would call the bloodline of Freemasonry in the Order of the Eastern Star, because at one time, hold on, I'm getting some feedback here. There you go. Because at one time, you as an Eastern Star, you could not be an Eastern Star unless you was married to a Master Mason or someone in your family line was a Master Mason. Now, here's some problems I have personally seen. I've seen sisters who wanted to be Eastern Stars and chose to become members of Prince Hall OES, but there was no one that could actually vouch for them. However, their brother or maybe their father was a member of another jurisdiction, non-Prince Hall, Ancient Free and Accepted, Modern Free, International, non-Prince Hall, okay? And what happened was is that they told that sister, no, you can't be a member of the Eastern Star over here unless somebody from here vouches for you or they adopt you or they or some other way. Okay? Now, here's what gets me. Now, you know that this sister is married to a Mason. You know that. But because your Grand Lodge does not recognize his Grand Lodge, you refuse to honor the fact that he is a Master Mason. That's what you refuse to do. It is not based on clandestine at all. It is based on your ignorance and not knowing that you knew and you know that that person is a Mason. But because you may feel that your obligation said you can't talk to clandestine Masons, and you're really using that out of terms, then you don't want to have no dealings. But you don't know you're missing out on a real good sister. You're missing out on a real good brother because you find that you can't, that there's nobody's going to vouch for them for them on your side. See, if they're not on your side, then no, it's just not going to happen. But if somebody does, then it's all good. No, nah, that's not how it's supposed to go. Now, it's supposed to go like this. Here's a sister who's looking to become an Eastern Star. She asked another sister in regards to becoming an Eastern Star. They then fill out the application and do the investigation. They know that her husband is a Mason in another jurisdiction. They don't have no ill feelings about it, but because they have been taught that if they're not from this side of the tracks, they can be part of, which is very incorrect. Very incorrect. A lot of sisters on all sides of the points should not be Eastern Stars because their husbands, their fathers, or their grandfathers, or their uncles, or their great uncle are not Masons. But because somebody vouched for you and said, oh, you will make a good person who can be an Eastern Star, we're going to make you an Eastern Star, or because, oh, you my best friend, and I'm going to bring you into the lodge. No, you're doing the lodge, you're doing the chapter a disservice. You really are. You really should be paying attention to who you're bringing in. Do they meet the needs, or are they going to help build, help to strengthen the organization, or are they there for a handout? There's a lot of things we must consider when we're bringing people into this fraternal order, this worldwide fraternal order of the Freemasons, and in the United States, the Order of the Eastern Star. We got to really consider who we bringing in. Are they worthy and well qualified? Have they made suitable proficiencies in their lifestyle? Do their lifestyle matches up to what we're looking for? These are some very important questions that we really have to consider when we are looking for potential candidates. People say, well, you shouldn't advertise. Masons advertise all the time with the emblems on the back of their car. Sticker says Acts 1 to B1. There's all sorts of advertisements for Masons and Eastern Stars. The ideal is people say, when you shouldn't recruit. Well, you recruit when you advertise. I'm recruiting right now. Let the truth be told. So we have to consider that. What if it's in your lodge, constitutional bylaws, to not recognize that brother or sister affiliation? Won't that put you in a bad spot with your lodge? Yeah, I'm not saying that you should not. I'm not saying that you should not abide by your lodge constitutional bylaws. I did not say that. What I'm clearly saying is this. If John's wife wants to be an Eastern Star in your jurisdiction, and you know John is a Mason, you know that. So it's definitely in her bloodline. All you have to do as a Mason in that jurisdiction is to say, well, I know John. No, my lodge doesn't recognize John, but I know John to be a Mason. So you know what? I'm going to vouch for this sister. See, that's how you have to do it. You as a Mason who knows John, even if your Grand Lodge does not recognize John as a Mason, but you know him. You know him personally. You've been to his, you know him, right? Y'all hang out together. But you going by your Grand Lodge say, well, I can't recognize him as a Mason, but you know he's a Mason. And his wife wants to be a member of that jurisdiction. All you have to do, brother, is vouch for her. That's why it says, who can vouch for you? Okay? You are vouching that this sister, Brother Mason, is going to make a good candidate. So, when she turns in the application, she can actually put your name down because you are vouching for her. You know her husband is a Mason, even if your Grand Lodge does not recognize his. You already know that. So they may say, well, how do you know her? Well, I know her husband. He's a Mason from such and such. That's how I know her. It doesn't matter whether you sit in a lodge with him. It doesn't matter if you guys never ever talk Freemasonry. The fact of the matter is you know. You know in your heart, you know that he's a Mason. Period. So that's quite all right, because you're going to vouch based on the fact that you know. Not that you sit in any lodge or broke your obligation or your oath, because your oath is to God. Is it? Yeah. Yeah. Your oath is to God. You're obligated to the lodge. So, think about that for a moment. So when a sister comes into the chapter, she should be married to a Mason. She should, her uncle, somebody should be a Mason along that line, because if they're not, then she really should not be an Eastern Star. Now, that's not my saying. That's just based on historical facts when you're dealing with Eastern Stars and who could or who should or who can be or whatever. That's just, you can look this up for yourself. As a matter of fact, if you have an OES book, it clearly states in there who can be an Eastern Star. It's in the landmarks. The Order of the Eastern Star has 15 landmarks. It's in the landmarks of the Order of the Eastern Star. It is based, as a matter of fact, the foundation of the order is based on family. Sister, mother, daughter, wife, widow. It's based on family, the whole facts of the Order of the Eastern Star. And if you don't fit in that, then you really shouldn't be an Eastern Star. But yes, I know things do change. Time does change. Yes, it does. So now there's all sorts of ways you try to get around that. And I just named one, which is perfectly okay as long as you're truthful to it. You didn't break any rules. Not at all. So definitely welcome once again. If you want to call in to tonight's show, you're certainly welcome to do so. And we're going to get on down with it. I was trying to find something out, but it wasn't happening right here. So I guess I'm going to have to do something else. There you go. Oh, got it. Okay. So definitely want to welcome you aboard tonight. I hope your family is well. Everybody's well in your family. And if you want to call into the show tonight, you're certainly welcome to do so. That number is 619-985-1184. Again, that number is 619-985-1184. You're certainly welcome to call into the show tonight. So we're talking about who can vouch for you. So I know in my own visitation around various jurisdictions. Hello, hey, Benny. MF Brooks, what's going on? Hello, my brother. Junior Warden from Detroit, Michigan, AF and AM. Motep Lodge, number 11. Excited to watch your bro. Hey, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And to everybody who's in. Brother Maddox, thanks for the shout out. I got your phone number, bro. I definitely had lost it. So definitely everybody who's coming on, I want to say I appreciate you for coming on tonight, stopping by and enjoying the show with me. If you want to call into the show, I've already posted that number. It's 619-985-1184. Certainly welcome if you do so. Maybe we can have this conversation on who can vouch for you. Have any of you ever traveled outside of your jurisdiction to a foreign jurisdiction? And if so, what was your experience like? I'd like to hear from you. If you have traveled outside of your normal jurisdiction, your General Grand Masonic Congress, what was it like? I'd like to hear from you tonight and, break that down. I'd like to know what was your experience like traveling in foreign countries and visiting as a Mason. Not necessarily the lodge, but knowing these brothers, knowing that you're going to come, they meet you at the airport. They greet you, they pick you up, you're staying at their home or you're staying at a hotel, but they are giving you the raw treatment based on the fact that you are a brother Mason. Not that you can visit their lodge, or even if you can visit their lodge. I want to know what was your experience like as you travel as a Master Mason, or even a sister of the Order of the Eastern Star outside of your own jurisdiction. I know that some of you got some stories to tell. I know that some of you have done this. You can't sit idly by and say you have not. So I want to hear from you. And then for those of you who wish to call into the show, but you're not a Mason, nor are you an Eastern Star, you're certainly welcome to do so. I want to hear from you, and I can give you my own personal experience about being part of this great fraternal order of Freemasonry and being able to travel and to enjoy the fellowship abroad as well as locally. So definitely, tonight, just give a call in. And you know what else we're going to talk about? Not only that, who can vouch for you? We're going to talk about things that come up all the time. Recognition and regular. I'm a regular. You're not regular. You're not recognized or recognition. So we're going to take a true look at the definition and term of that word, because a lot of times Freemasons use that out of, they just totally just take the word and just rip it. They don't even know really what they're talking about. And I can actually say that because I've seen your post in various groups, and I just shake my head. I'm like, wow, really? So you're going to use that word based on what? Because you're totally using it incorrectly. And some of you who are watching tonight has done the same thing. Greetings, Sister Jones. I hope you're doing better. I understood that you was a little under the weather. So I want to welcome Sister Coretta Jones on tonight. Great to have her aboard. Umoja chapter here out of San Diego. Great. Just want to send you a big shout out. Like I said, I hope you're feeling better and well. So tonight we're talking about who can vouch for you, be it an Eastern Star or a Mason. Also, we're talking about, have you traveled outside of your own boundaries, and what was that experience like? Okay. And the next thing we're going to talk about recognition and regular. You know, I'm a regular Mason, or I'm a recognized. We're going to talk about those two words and what they really mean, the essence of what they mean in Freemasonry, not something that somebody has said, but what the word really means. So right now, the topic is who can vouch for you. So if you want to get some of this, you can call in 619-985-1184. Now, as far as myself is concerned, I've had a great time traveling as a Mason. Oh, yes, I have. And I've experienced a lot. And one of my, I would say the one of the best experiences I had traveling as a Mason is when I was in San Francisco last year. I was visiting there with a group of brothers, and one brother owned a club. And once he knew that I was visiting his lodge, he was like, hey, you come on in, anything you want or need, it's on the house. I was like, yeah, really? Woo-wee. I mean, and I loved it. And he was a Hispanic brother, you know, from Latin America. And he cracked me up because, you know, the way his restaurant was set up in the front, when you come in, it's all like table, dinner settings, you know, you're like sitting at the dinner table, you know. Oh, you have to be dressed. Then you walk through the restaurant to the back. Oh my God. That's where it was kicking. I'm telling you, it was kicking right there. The mariachi band, they was letting loose. I mean, it was like, you know, it was different. So it was two separate things that was going on. It was family oriented. And then if you really want to enjoy yourself, there it was. Also, when I was there, I had the opportunity of them stamping my Masonic. I have a passport, so I had them to stamp the Masonic passport because I did have lodge visitation, and I had a great time. And that's another thing I would say in regards to brothers traveling abroad and just doing what they do. Get yourself a Masonic passport. It is one of the best things that I invested in. And here in our jurisdiction, we try to make sure that every brother has a Masonic passport. Let me tell you the reason why we do this. All jurisdictions around the world do not necessarily recognize the fact that you may have a Masonic dues card. It is only here in the United States for the majority of Grand Lodges that have Masonic dues cards. But what I did learn is when you travel abroad and you have a Masonic passport, it's something a little bit different about that, because in the one we have, it had our picture, the name of our Grand Lodge, the seal of the Grand Lodge was stamped on it. So it was a little different. And I found that it was more acceptable to a lot of jurisdictions. Some jurisdiction wants to see your patent, you know. And I don't want to carry around that piece of paper. Not that. So the passport really worked. It really worked. So in the process of finding out who can vouch for you, I would say get that passport. So wherever you go and you want to meet or greet a brother, you pull out your passport because it has everything in there that they would need to know in regards to who you are. So with that being said, I hadn't gotten any calls tonight. It seemed like you guys are like, whoa, don't want to touch this one. But come on, call on in. It's perfectly okay. Nobody here is going to try to make you look bad, feel bad. This is all about education on Freemason. This is all about uplifting the next brother. We want to make sure that we're all on the same page as far as Freemasonry is concerned. But we talk about brotherly love, relief, and truth. But do we really apply that? And this is what Freemasonry is all about. And if you're not able to apply, then something is wrong with you and within your jurisdiction. Something is definitely wrong. So we definitely got to look that up. And definitely do me one more thing while we're here tonight. Hit the thumbs up and like button for me. What that does is this alerts other individuals who may miss the show tonight and who can go back and watch the show. I certainly would appreciate it if you would do that for me. So we're going to get on with the show. So let's take a look at recognition, because a lot of people like to say you're not recognized and all of that. But let's really take a look at recognition and what it is among the Eastern Stars in Freemasonry. We're going to take a look at it from that point of view, and then we're going to move on. So when you are looking at it from the point of recognition, okay, let's look at the definition. Modes, there are two, okay? Signs, grips, and three. Signs, grips, and words is where you're going to get your recognition from. Recognition is not necessarily you can visit my lodge, but the mere fact that somebody else is recognizing you as a Mason is truly recognition. Okay, we're looking at the true essence of recognition, because some people get that mixed up with the fact that you can't visit my lodge, so now you're not recognized. That is not true. That is not true. Because you can't visit my OES chapter, you're not recognized. That is not true. The truth is recognition comes from a couple of things: the grip, the password, okay, and signs. Grips, words, and signs is how you're going to identify yourself as a Mason. Your character, your personhood is going to carry that along the way. Are you a man or a woman of your word? See, because a lot of people don't want to play that into play. They want to kick that out the door. They don't want to stand on their character. They don't want to stand on their word. So what they do is they say, well, you can't come visit my lodge, so therefore if you're irregular or clandestine. That is incorrect. That is totally false. That is not good information. I'm giving you the definition for it on the Masonic side. It's truly the various words, signs, and grips that allow one Freemason to identify himself to another as a member of the craft. This is why Freemasonry is a worldwide fraternity, not just a social thing here in the United States or any place else. It's worldwide. Now, if your Grand Lodge does not recognize that other Grand Lodge body, it doesn't say that you can't recognize that brother. It doesn't say that. You can have lunch with him. You can have coffee and tea, and you can go and have a drink. Now, you're going to say, well, I can't talk masonry with him. Why you want to talk masonry with him when you're a Mason and he's a Mason? Why you want to do that? You already know. You do. You already know, so don't even trip. That goes back to what I was saying earlier about if a sister wanted to join another jurisdiction, but they didn't recognize this other jurisdiction, but this brother is a Mason over here. She still is qualified to be an Eastern Star over here because she's married to a Mason. But a lot of sisters are not married to a Mason. They ain't engaged, they ain't their boyfriend, they ain't their nothing. But the foundation of the Eastern Star is based off family. Mother, daughter, widow, wife, sister. Boom. Not cousin, not grand cousin, third, fourth, fifth cousins. No. None of that. But this is how we get it done. This is how we're able to grab and bring members in, because we say, well, you know what, we'll go ahead and we'll do X and Y, Z. Let me tell you this here. And that I'm not saying that I'm any better than anybody else, because I know in this jurisdiction I'm in, we've done it too. So I'm not throwing bricks at anybody. Let's have a clear understanding about that. Okay? So I don't want nobody saying, well, you know that. No, we have done it too. No, You know why? Because times have changed. So you have to be able to adapt to the changing times. And on a lot of occasions, a lot of Grand Lodges fail because they're not able to do that. Because in order for your organization to survive, it is based upon membership. But you don't want to get the crazies in. You don't want to let the crazies in. And too many times we've lowered our standards and allowed the crazies to come in. And now the crazies are taking over. They have no respect for anybody. They just think that their way is the only way. If it ain't coming from them, it ain't right. The crazies are Looney Tunes. I mean, I'm like, damn, they are. Because they've lost the true essence of Freemasonry. The working tool of a master mason is the trowel. And why is it the trowel? To spread cement of brotherly love. And if I'm not doing that, and I call myself a master mason regardless of your jurisdiction, then something is wrong with that. If you're not able to apply the 8 emblems which is given to you as a mason, then something is wrong with that. It really is. So I'm just going to look at some of your comments here and see what we got. Popularity is who gets in office, not the... Oh, of course. Christopher Jackson. Chris, I know you hot for this one. So, Chris, you got the number. If you're going to call in tonight, 619-985-1184. Chris, go and call in because I know you got the hots for this. I know you've been waiting on this one for a minute. So you can go ahead and hit me up. And as they say, let's get it on. We're going to make it do what it do. If anybody else want to call in, they're certainly welcome to do so. Brother Jackson, talk back to me.
Greetings, everyone. Salam alaikum.
Salaikum salam.
Salam alaikum. How you doing? God bless. My carrot, whoever else I need to cover. I thought I was doing something, then I saw that my notification came on that you were online. Excuse me. And so I was just listening to the Who Can Vouch For You.
Oh yeah, so that's the big thing. Who can vouch for you?
Yeah, see what happens is we misconstrue the actual phrase itself with who can vouch for you versus who can say that you're in a lodge.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you speak on who can vouch for you, you have to associate that with the tenets and principles of the order by what it is that you're doing. Who can vouch for you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, who can definitely say, yeah, he is who he say he is. Remember, I said if anyone was to accuse you of being a Mason or an Eastern Star, is there sufficient enough evidence to convict you? Or is it mistaken identity?
And a lot of times it's mistaken identity.
A lot of times it is mistaken identity. You know,
no doubt.
We can lay that analogy even on police.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is he a real peace officer, or is he someone who's just abusing the principles of what he has?
Absolutely.
You know, so it's all about. It boils down to what I speak on a lot of times when I say that being a Mason is a conduct and a behavior. It has nothing to do with what you can recite and, oh man, that brother can open the lodge up with no book and he just speak it. Well, hell,
right.
As I say, I can teach a dog to kick a ball into the hoop.
So I'm gonna pause just for a moment and pose this to you. So Rashid Bey said, why seek recognition if you already know you're legit? And I'm going to answer this question for you. Recognition, see, here's the thing. There's a type of recognition you have amongst Grand Lodges for visitation purposes, and then there's a worldwide recognition amongst the brotherhood. And you
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
go ahead.
And,
Well, I can understand. I can understand that from your perspective.
right.
What Brother Bay is saying is that why seek recognition? Okay, well, Brother Bay, let's take it to the temple. If you are a direct following descendant from the lineage of Noble Drew Ali, C. Kirkman Bay, F. Nelson Bay, J. Blakeney Bay, and Brother Arlov Eo, and his line, then you know you come from the authentic body of the Moorish Science Temple and not the splinter groups. See, we pay attention to what the splinter groups are saying to say, oh, they ain't of the original. You know, we got all of these different grand congresses. Well, we the original, we the first, we the, you know, everyone wants to have their name at the top of the ladder. And that isn't the issue. It's about what you do. See, when I say being a Mason is what? Your obligation. And many people, there are people on this page who are Masons who never had an initiation. Somebody
Woo! Talk back to me right now. You said there are brothers on this page that probably even never had. Wait a minute.
There are a lot of brothers who are Masons in this group who never had an initiation. They never had a petition. They never even saw a lodge. They just know what the building looks like. So either it is who you are, or you got in because you thought it was some perks up in there. Like a lot of brothers, they get in frats because they know it's easier getting a woman. A lot of brothers get in the order because they know it's easier to get a woman. Well, that shouldn't already be there in your mindset. If being chivalrous, if being civic, if being charitable is who you are, it shows in your conduct. See, when your company, the company you keep determine really what type of character you are. And a lot of people, they take a lot of their talents places that their character can't keep them.
So are we casting aside integrity in some cases?
Oh, indeed. Integrity is a lost art among a lot of brothers because when I say that the proficient are not sought after for leadership, only popularity.
Right.
You have a lot of people all over the country that hold positions who aren't proficient in the work. They just in the seat so they can give order. They can give orders. They can give direction. But see, when you go back to the good men to make better men, then I have to look at you when you're in leadership. Well, hell, you're raggedy in the streets. How do you come up in here and be something? I don't understand that. How do you get in here, get a position, give direction, say what you want to say, do what you want to do, but then I look at you in your social life or your employment life and you dirty?
Well, see, this is the thing. So when we look at this term recognition, and I gave you my own personal not my own personal definition. I gave you the
break the word down, bro.
Huh?
Break the word down. See, we looking at the whole word, recognition. Well, break it up. Recognize.
Okay.
Recognize, read, or cognizant. Okay. See, all of those words are in there. What does cognizant mean? What does recognize mean? I see you. I see you by the works that you do.
Go ahead.
You know, my past grandmaster always said that. Well, what really makes you a Mason? Your obligation. Well, let's get off into the obligation. Look at all of the things that it says that I will always hate. I will forever conceal. That means I'm not telling nobody who ain't worthy of this nothing. But you see a brother, you shake his hand, and you just start talking. You don't know who he is. Then you look up and say, oh, I ain't been active in a while. Well, wait a minute, why are we talking? What's the difference between an inactive Mason and somebody who ain't in there at all? When the book tells you that you should always be affiliated somewhere.
Yep, it says that. It says that.
Well, they ain't doing the right thing. Okay, well then either go somewhere else and you do the right thing, or you stay where you are and keep doing the right thing and let some of the newer ones who have that character, who are not easily swayed and misled, see what lives in you. You know, there's so many times that I wanted to throw my hat in and give it up. And then when I think about it and I talk about it, and they was like, well, no, you don't know what you do for me. You don't know what I've had brothers and sisters tell me that. So I have to keep on persevering. I have to use those 4 cardinal virtues. I have to have some prudence. I have to have some fortitude. And being a noble, I have to use that camel and that endurance and keep on going.
But see, in saying all of that, some of us, and I would say even for myself, as you've already said, I've even felt like, well, damn, do I really want to do this anymore? Because of what I see. But I have to take on and be the example of what a Mason should be doing, how a Mason should be carrying themselves. Because, go ahead.
I've never, in the same way that I say there's no Masonic police, there's never been a right way to be a Mason. There's just an honor resin. It's like one who is of the church. You either follow the scriptures or you don't. You either follow the Old Testament, New Testament, or you don't. You either follow Quran or you don't. You either follow all of the books. See, a Muslim can't tell me all we follow is the Quran, because that's not what one of the 7 articles of faith is.
But see,
you believe in all of the books.
But see, here again. You said, well, there's no certain way. But there is the way when you follow it. When you follow the instructions of what is given to you in Freemasonry. That is the way. That is the example.
What I mean by that is according to your discernment and your interpretation.
Okay.
The difference between any Grand Lodge, any lodge, is what's in your treasury. Everybody got the same order of business. So how are you doing something different?
Yeah.
How are you doing something different in how you open or close? You just do things differently, or more of an explanatory manner. I always ask this: how is it that everybody, when you open in the lodge, how is it that everybody in the room gives up the word except for the junior warden? But I've been in the lodge and opened when everybody gives up the word. Because when you say all present and accounted for, well, hell, I'm a junior warden. I ain't giving up the word. Ain't nobody asked me nothing. You didn't come and ask me for the word.
Junior warden or senior warden.
Right, but see, the senior warden has to know the word. But see, I have watched Trey Jones and H.B. Kerner open the lodge, and he gets the word from everybody, because he says all present and accounted for, Master Masons thus far. And he keeps on pulling. He keeps on, and he gets it from everybody. And then he continues on. It's different, but it's what they do, and you can't say, well, they're wrong. That ain't how you do it. See, we always want to try to govern what people do. And in this day in life, it's about evolving, evolution, discovery, doing new things. The books are small. The rituals have stayed the way that they've been for a long time. And when you start innovating and putting and adding in stuff for your own personal gain, you're doing something different. See, you can always add, but you can never subtract.
Right.
Even with sisters, as I always ask sisters, why do you have a discussion with a sister about bringing her into the order, and you can't see 3 or 5 heroines in her? You can't trust her. You already know you can't trust her around your husband. You can't go, and you don't want to go into business with her, and you don't even respect her. So why are you giving her a petition? It's the same way with men. This ain't no saving power.
Yep.
Masonry saved my life. It couldn't have. You just knew that you wanted to be a part of this, and the tenets kept you in focus. That's what it is. That's the difference. That when people have this Muslim Christian thing, you can't just do what you want to do and roll up in Jumu'ah like you want to, or roll up in Nation Islam like you want to, or roll up in the temple like you want to. You can do what you want to do all along. Again, we have all of the things. That's what we mean by vouching for. You can't tell me you all about the Lord and you doing this right here. You on your knees more when you're naked than you are in prayer. Don't tell me that that's what you do.
Did you just go there?
I mean, hey, if I say something wrong, straight.
No. You good. It just, you slid that right on in there, bro. You just slid that right on up in there. But check this out though. So I'm gonna leave that one right there. So you often hear brothers talk about I'm regular. I'm regular. You hear that a lot, don't you?
You're talking about regular as far as being regular mainstream?
No, regular Masons. I'm a regular Mason.
Oh,
You're
okay.
irregular Mason. So let's take a look.
Go ahead.
So we're gonna take a look at what is a regular Mason. So a term referring to a lodge that was duly and legally constituted and warranted, issued by a Grand Lodge, and obeys the laws and regulations of that Grand Lodge. That's what makes a lodge regular. That's what makes you a regular Mason. Now, we often hear it, but it's not. We often hear the word, but it's not in the right terms that we hear the word.
Because of how it's told. See, when you tell something, that doesn't mean that you know because you didn't research it. You only read something and now you're repeating it. But when you research something, you can break it down into its finer compound, like a fraction. See, it is that you had the how many anciently composed? So it was 3 or more. So when you had 3 or more, you are regular. But when you let somebody else tell it, they say you got to be regular from here. So really what you're saying is you got to be from here for me to recognize that you're there. If you didn't get your car from Ford Motor Company, you ain't no real Ford. You bought it from Tony Muhammad, so you got a off-brand Ford. That's not true. I just got it from somewhere else. But we don't ever look at it like that because that's not what's taught. It's told and we confuse it with being taught. That's why people spend a lot of time trying to prove themselves because of the narratives that other people give. Well, you know, if you ain't heard from here, well, would you let, I had a brother tell me, would you let just somebody operate on you that wasn't no real doctor? Well, hell, some of y'all had abortions with co-hangers and it worked. You need to complain about that.
Yeah, that's true. And look, that's a fact. That's not something that somebody talked about. That is a fact.
You claimed it wasn't your kids that you claimed on your taxes, and it worked.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah, see,
so brother, so Martin Evans stated, yes, you don't need recognition, but it does feel good to be recognized if you practice the craft. And you are amazing. You have a charter issued in your jurisdiction, then you have the right. All right, yeah, that's true.
Well, think about this. When you say it feels good to be recognized, there hasn't never been anywhere on this planet that I have gone that I wasn't recognized. And what I mean by that is, it's like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. Why are you spending so much time trying to get up somewhere where white folks stay and they don't want you in there? Go where people want you at, or make your own.
Absolutely.
See, I'm not concerned with who see me. I'm concerned with the works that I do because only one person it matters to me who sees me, and that be one in eternal in the heaven. See, when I worry about how man sees me, then I become a real slave. Because now I can't talk to Tony Muhammad because so-and-so said so. Wait a minute, didn't Mr. Charlie used to say that?
He did. He still does. Hey.
Don't talk to him.
Hey.
If I catch you talking to, I know Grandmaster said, if I catch you talking to so-and-so, you're gonna get expelled. Who are you talking to?
I'm gonna go back to what you said. You just said that Mr. Charlie used to say that. Now you know and I know here recently they just said that, you know what, we can have Farrakhan on Facebook because he's an extremist. He's causing too much trouble.
They really don't want me to get up in the ball. I mean, he said what he needed to say when he was at St. Sabina.
Yes.
You know, so like he said, you know, because see, if you've ever gotten a hold to the Jewish scripture, you will see how they talk about Jesus. See, one thing you can't do, it may have been lifted, but I see you got something on your mind. When you talk about Prophet Muhammad bin Abdullah, the patriarch of Islam, and the way that Salman Rushdie did when they put $1 million bounty on him, and he went into hiding. So you can talk about Jesus like a dog. Ain't nobody gonna say, "Oh, you going to hell." No.
Ain't nobody looking to kill you.
I can't say you're not a real lover of Muhammad and the order. But when you talk about people to that point, how is it that you will disregard a a savior that you've never seen, but you will fight to the death. I mean, you don't even defend your daddy like that. Some people don't even defend their own family like they defend the scripture.
Yep.
They don't even defend the order like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if the order has kept you in a particular type of mindset, then yes, it did save you. But you didn't but I don't look at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I know that if I I wear something all the time, because whenever I get to that point where Satan is always trying to get a hold of my doubts. See, Satan don't want you. He just wants you to have doubts in what you're doing.
Right.
So every time there's some foolishness going on in the order, you want to quit. He got you. Because the order has not changed in hundreds of years. Only the people in it. You just said we got a lot of goofies in here. We got a lot of clowns in here. And we got clowns in here because you gave them a petition.
That's
if your grandmaster ain't shit, you elected him.
You sure did. You put him right in office. You
sure did. Master Raggedy, you elected him. You got a whole lodge full of garbage, but you on point. How did they get in there? Because you were worried about your numbers.
So
look at the analogy. Hold on. Look at the analogy of this brother who was always never seen, and he's a multi-billionaire. And he just told the graduating class, not everybody, he said, look here, since y'all made this move and you graduated and you got your paperwork, this is what I'm going to do for you. See, that's what success is, when you take your money and you help others with it. You coming out of, there's a whole lot of people got student loans on this page, got degrees, talking crazy, walking with all kind of swagger and in debt.
Yeah.
So you got a job and you barely make it. I'm a doctor, yeah, but you in debt. So that $500,000 home you living in, you still owe money on it. But you coming out of school with zero debt and can be in the black in the door making your money.
That's it.
That's favor, man.
And you know what?
That's favor.
And speaking of that gentleman, I'd never heard of this guy. They say he's a billionaire.
He's a 5-time billionaire that they know of because he's a venture capitalist. He's an investment man. He makes investments. So, he got people around him. But see, these are those tables that you sit in when your character changes. You can be in these rooms. See, you have people that, remember I said last time, rate yourself. You have people that when you sit in certain circles, you have certain types of income. Certain types of income put you in certain rooms. And that's why I said, look, if you're looking at the Portland game right now, look on the sidelines. Look at the people sitting in the front row next to the team. They look like just anybody else, but they got paper.
They got paper, baby. They got paper. I know somebody that got it.
I know a man, and I know men that are multimillionaires, and they live off of 10% of their income. That's 10% of their income.
But that's all you're gonna need when you're a multi-millionaire. All you need is 10%.
But see, we got brothers that want to have $80,000 cars with a quarter tank of gas and no garage. You got brothers that got iPhone 10s and no insurance. And living in the streets where bullets are flying everywhere. You'll fight me to the death about your girlfriend, but you ain't gonna fight to get a wife.
Woo!
But you're telling me about how much of a father you are, and your kids don't want for nothing, but you're never around. You just buy things for them, and they grow out of them.
Yeah.
So see, being vouched for has nothing to do with the order that you're in. It's about what you're doing as a man. That's why I say circumcision is the practice of a Jew. But if you don't have that foreskin taken off your heart, you still got larceny in it. That's why you look at people with scorn. That's why you're on the page group right now thinking, who this nigga think he is? That's what people always do. Because you don't have that love in your heart.
A lot of them don't. Let's just clear
I'm
out on that.
I'm not your brother. I'm not your brother. All them brothers that be asking you for my phone number, like I told you the other day, you can give my number out. I put it on the page before.
Yeah.
Anybody can call me. I'm not that type of dude.
Right.
But I respected what you said, and I understand that. I'm easier to find than with a GPS. I'm not that dude. All I try to do is give what was given to me. Because I had some big shoes that I stood on and some big feet that I sat at listening and learning.
Right.
And that's all it's about. I have a different discernment and a different type of study habit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not this hell of a dude. I just have no fear of man. And I speak what's on my mind because I have no need for nobody else to give me nothing. I don't want you to, I don't look for the favor of man. Because man will always let you down because he has a motive.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult, man. When you get a certain age, new people just can't come along. If I hit Mega Ball tomorrow, everybody who used to hate me find some reason to say, man, boy, you know, you've always been my dude.
Hey, you know how they say it. I've always been there for you.
Yeah, that's what being vouched for is. Or can somebody vouch for you? Yeah, I see him right there. Hey, that's Brother Jackson right there. He this, and this, that, and that. I had a brother tell me, he said, man, I can't stand you. I said, why? What'd I do? He said, listen. He said, as a person, I don't like you, but as through the order, you can teach with anybody. I said, explain that. He said, well, I was going through something, and you didn't speak up for me. I said, number one, brother, you didn't ask me to speak up for you. I said, I offered you some counsel about your situation. You didn't want to accept it. Mm-hmm. So I left you as I found you.
Right.
Don't you never involve yourself in a conversation with someone where they're venting to you, and you don't want a way out of it because what you're doing ain't working.
So in saying that, somebody posted here earlier. So what's the solution? Well, I'm going to give you my solution.
The solution to what? The solution to what?
Okay, I'm going to go back. This brother stated, he said, let's see. So true. Nope. That's not it. Go ahead. I'm gonna have to go back because I think he was asking what was the solution in regards to the show and the things that we were talking about. But go ahead and finish up. I'm going to see can I find it.
I didn't see it because I'm on my earpiece.
Right.
You're talking about a solution about recognition and vouching for someone. Your character is what vouches for you. Mm-hmm. And I use analogy all the time. 98% of us have never encountered a lion, a rattlesnake, an alligator, but you know their reputation. You know their pedigree. Oh
my God! Go ahead. I'm following you on this one.
You've never encountered a shark. None of that. Mm-hmm. But you know that you ain't never encountered a silverback gorilla, but you know their pedigree. You know how to act. Why don't you know how to be a steward? Because you've never served anyone.
Right.
You've never been humble enough to carry somebody else's bag. Mm-hmm. You think that's punk stuff. You think that's what they call it, bojangling. You know, let me grab my Worshipful Master's bags. Hey, what time you get into the lodge? Well, I'll be there at 7:05. Okay, at 6:50, I'll be outside waiting on you.
Right.
You got anything? See, it's beneath you to ask that because you don't know how to serve. But if you did any history, ancient free man, then why is it that you wouldn't know that stewards used to have a whole lot of juice in the lodge? Mm-hmm. But you don't research that. You think if you ain't sitting in the east, you are nobody. Mm. But when I ask you about the esotericness of who has the most important position in the room other than the worshipful master, you'll always go to the secretary. Why? Well, secretary, no, that's typical. Well, why do you say that? Well, who does the Well, okay, I understand that.
I got you. Hold on just a second, brother. I got you online, but you're going to hold on. I got Brother Christopher Jackson speaking right now, okay?
No problem.
All right. Go ahead, Brother Jackson.
Who sits at the right hand of God? Jesus. Okay. Well, who sits at the right hand of the worshipful master? The senior deacon. What happens don't nothing move unless the senior deacon make it happen.
There
The
you
lodge
go.
can't even be open unless the senior deacon prepares the altar. And the altar is symbolic of God's throne, his threshold.
There you go.
It never moves. It's always in the room. It's always in the center of the room. The altar is in the center of the room, right?
Yep.
When you look at that point within that circle, what point is that? That's you. You are symbolic of that altar. Where all of your burdens go. But see, that comes to discernment when you bump your head on the ground or you on your knees getting calloused.
There you go. So, Brother Jackson, I have somebody else on the line. Who's on the line right now?
Octavius Green Jr., Philadelphia, PHA. What's up, brother?
Hey.
All right, sir.
Not much. Talk back to me right now. What you got, bro?
No, I was the one that asked for the solution because I wasn't sure. What are we talking about? Are we talking about recognition from white lodges, or are we talking about PHA and other?
What we're basically saying is it's not all about recognition. We're talking about who can vouch for you. And when we say who can vouch for you, it's not just about the recognition part, even though that's inclusive along with being regular. So what we're talking about is that when you meet another brother and you know that he's a Mason, but because your Grand Lodge may say, hey, we don't recognize them, but you know he's another Mason from another jurisdiction, do you apply that to the landmarks that's saying that a brother who has been initiated, passed, and raised? Or do you just apply that because your Grand Lodge says, well, they're not recognized? So in the process of who vouches for you, you know, who's to say that you are who you say you are? Is it by your character? Is it the way you carry yourself? All of that plays a part. But can somebody really say that you are who you say you are?
I mean, first of all, I'm Muslim, so the way you know a man or you recognize people for who they are. The Prophet Muhammad always.
Wait a minute, time out, back up. You said you're a Muslim and you a PHA?
So what that mean? I'm black in America. I mean, I got a bunch of negatives going. I mean, what you?
And he in Philadelphia?
Oh my God!
What I'm saying is the way that you know people is by eating, sleeping, and lodging with them.
Right.
That's right. Because you come into the order and you meet a brother, that doesn't necessarily mean that you know them or you'll be willing to vouch for them. When
Strict trial and examination.
He understands that you are who you are before you came to Islam. It either enhances you or you remain the same person if that stuff doesn't take root in your heart. So here it is. We all have this discussion each week here about, PHA versus this versus that. Everybody knows what their open obligation is. And that open obligation is specifically talked about not discussing certain things. But if I see you and you're a brother, you mean to tell me that I'm going to treat you any different than I would another black man that works on my job? No, I'm not taking that position. I'm going to assist that man in whatever he needs to be assisted with, even if we never do talk masonry. What difference does it make? Half the people you run into anyway don't know masonry.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
You know, all this stuff about recognition, I think is just overblown and overrated. We're talking about 100 years of discussing the same issues. When you look at those names of brothers that went through the shrine or going through the shrine, and you start looking at the people involved, John D. Jones and what's the other guy?
Thornton Jackson.
They knew each other, man. This wasn't people got to really do their research. These people knew each other. They didn't just meet that day or 3 days ago. They've all had run-ins with each other. If you look deeply into the history, you'll see that everybody has the problem. So, I mean, let's get over it.
Well, the thing is, it's gonna I think when you ask for the solution starts with me. The solution starts with you. The solution starts with anyone who wants to see us move forward or us progress. I'm not talking about visitation. I'm just talking about the solution.
No, and I'm with you. And the solution is everything. You're exactly right. Everything starts with us. But the only problem is most men aren't willing to hold themselves in account. Umar ibn al-Khattab said, hold yourself in account before Allah holds you in account. People don't hold themselves in account. They don't care about nothing. There's no more moral fabric and fiber. They don't care about nothing. It says if you have no shyness, then you'll do whatever you want. If you're not shy in the eyes of your Lord, the one that sees you when nobody else is watching, what makes you think you're going to be shy in front of other people and do the right thing?
That's right. Man. That's right.
Yeah, you could definitely teach on that, bro. I would give you 100%. And even,
but what he just said was exactly what I said in a different form. He just brought it from Islamic perspective.
Right.
It's no different. It's the same shoe, just worn different.
Yep.
It's no different.
It says take good men and make them better. Okay, let's think about that for a minute. It says it's going to take good men and make them better. Not somebody who was raised by a woman and comes in with women tendencies. Not by a guy who
oh my God.
Off the street. Not by something. I mean, let's look at it as a good man. You got to evaluate the man. So I think if we start guarding that West Gate a little harder and make sure we bring in the right people, we might not have these conversations anymore. That's where it needs to start, because you keep bringing in dudes with a lot of issues, and that maybe we're not going to change that. It says, take a good man and make him better. He was already broken. What you supposed to do with him? He need a doctor. He don't need masonry. He need a doctor.
Boy, y'all got me rolling tonight. He said he need a doctor. Right?
Well, and with that said, I'm going to jump off before PAJ police get me, man.
You know they was listening. As soon as you said where you was from, they making phone calls. You can look for your dismissed letter in the mail. They said they expelled you.
I haven't said anything that would have gotten me in trouble.
No, you said your name, and you are conversing with clandestine fire, and you finna get expelled. They know you texting somebody something. You done told your financial report or the law. I got it in my phone. You just sent it to me. You finna get expelled.
Well, see me on the chitlin circuit. Right. All right, brother. Sorry. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for calling in. And damn, that was. Hey, I appreciate that one. That was hard right there. Brother Jackson, you still on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, but yeah, that brother did break down some stuff, and like you said, it was the same shoe, just one on a different size,
Right.
So, and that's just some of the things we just really got to consider and look at. And I appreciate him getting on, calling on, and just really breaking down some things from his position as a Prince Hall Mason. But see, that's the dialogue we got to have. And you and I have often talked about it. And I talked to Brother Rock 101, and he was like, he's done. And I understand that people get frustrated, they get tired. But if it ain't worth having, it's not worth fighting for. If it's not worth having, it's not worth fighting for.
What I find to be the easiest thing. See, one thing that I'll never do, especially if I'm not coming representing a body. See, I can't represent Chicago, Illinois, because I'm not speaking for the mayor.
Right.
So when I come somewhere and I go somewhere, this is the Grand Lodge I'm from. This is the lodge I'm in, blah, blah, blah. But I'm speaking from my perspective, but I know from the tenets of the order, I know that I have to conduct and behave myself a specific way so I can be dealt with. So that's the whole thing. No, you better not ever tell me, look, don't go out there to California. I forbid you to go to California and visit that Grand Lodge. Who are you talking to? You got your people mixed up. If you didn't pay for the ticket, and the banquet ticket, you can't tell me where I can go.
Absolutely.
So, but that happens. And you have brothers and sisters that happens to. I recently met a sister, that went to. She came to speak, and and they told don't go down there because they so and so. She's like, well, listen, but I'll be there. I'm here. And if anything gonna happen, then it's gonna happen. But you're not gonna stop me from shit. See, when you want to stop people, when you tell me don't go somewhere, you're either afraid that I'm going to hear something to deter me from what I'm doing, or you think that I'm going to give up something that you don't want anyone else to know. Like you got the bona fide information. See, in Islam, they talk about that when it's called an hoarder. You're a hoarder of knowledge. You just learning, and you don't want to tell anybody anything. That's why a lot of people like to sit up and hold. We used to call them ciphers. people want to hold the cipher and they just talking and spitting. And you sitting there, you don't really know much. Like, man, Tony Muhammad deep as hell. You hear that stuff he's talking about? But you the only one to know what you're saying.
And you don't want to share the information.
Yeah. You can tell me some off-brand stuff and don't nobody else in there know it but you. Well, where you get that from? Oh, you wouldn't understand it. No, that ain't what I asked you. Where did you get it from?
Man, I've heard that so many times. That's why that was one of the main reasons I actually started my own library. I got tired of people who are Masons and talking to them, and I asked, hey, well, you know what, bro? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing. I started buying my own books, doing my own research, reading and finding out for myself. Now you can't come back and tell me. I can distribute the information. I can share it because I want you to have it.
Right.
All right, so this brother wrote, I'd never heard of any mainstream Grand Lodge or Grand Lodge under mainstream lodges or Prince Hall stopping their members from going to lodges that are not recognized. What? Oh, you got to be smoking that, bruh.
Oh, bless his heart.
Oh, now, come on now.
Bless his heart.
Come on, I'm just going to read. I'm going to read this one more time.
Don't say that. If he ain't never heard of it, all he got to do is go to his grandmaster or go to his worshipful master and say, hey, listen, I'm finna go visit so-and-so and so-and-so down on such and such street and sit in a lodge and watch what happens to them. And even if they say, okay, it's no problem, let that lodge tell the grandmaster of them that they going and they say that it is okay. I assure you, it's gonna get different up in there.
It's definitely gonna get different up in there. That's gonna definitely happen. You know. Let me see this brother name.
This brother's on this page now.
Yeah.
They inboxed me and told me that they don't say much because they got people watching for them. There's people on the page watching to see who gonna say something, who gonna offer something, and then they gonna tell it. Yeah, they got that, and they from Prince Hall. I know who they are because they inbox me and they tell me.
Wow. This brother said 99.9%. If you are not recognized by that lodge will not deny you to come inside. The lodge, I can guarantee you there. I can guarantee you that. You know. Well, now, I'm going to give him some credit. I'm going to give him a little credit on that. I have to give him a little credit on that because I've been places where our brother has invited me out because we know each other, and he invited me to his lodge, and I went. And now they say, well, you're not in our book, but because this brother vouches for you, this goes back to the show, this brother vouches for you, you can come on in. This is happening on quite a few occasions. Say what?
That's a landmark. That's a landmark. That's how I have a right of a voucher. I have a right to visit.
Yes.
That's a landmark. But see, I said it before. Whether it wants to be admitted or not, I mean, it's public record. You can pull it up on Google. There is a form that you must sign if you are going to Prince Hall or you call yourself going to get healed in Prince Hall. That you disavow anything that ain't them. You only like I just said it before. I repeat myself sometimes because it's newer people here. When everything was formed with UGLE, they said if you want to be a part of us, send in your records, your name, etc., and you will be under UGLE banner. If you don't do that, then you will be considered and classified as clandestine because our body is this, and we don't recognize anyone else who is not with us. That doesn't mean you ain't a Mason. That just means you ain't a Mason to them.
Right.
And nobody wants to recognize that or respect that. So I don't care who sees me. Oh, I recognize you. I've met everybody. Everybody. And they ask me, hey, how you doing? What's going on? You're not going to challenge me, none of that. You can grip me, you can speak, hello, blah, blah, blah. We can break bread, all of that. I don't care what you want to talk about. But don't get off your square with me.
That's right. Hey, and it should be that way. Did I lose you?
No, No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I said definitely it should be that way. No, you don't get off your square. You better stay put, or we're gonna really have a conversation.
But like I said, it's about, when you talk. It all deals with. See, vouching. Who can vouch for you is a very broad term. Who can? Oh hell, my mama can vouch for me. My father can vouch for me. My father was Prince Hall, St. Mary's, Fort Wayne, Indiana. For those of you listening and ear hustling, and you want to find out where he was, raised in 1952, and I got his apron. If you feel like I got Prince Hall property, come get it.
Oh my God. Okay.
But see, it's about what I mean by my mother and father can vouch for me. I'm speaking about to my character. It's all about character, not about what you got. You got brothers who still love the order and not in it because they still wearing paraphernalia and ain't affiliated.
Correct.
They're not in a lot. I had a brother who was a coach at another school. His daughter was under me because I was coaching her. She used to tell me her father was a Mason. I knew who he was because I used to see him. Every time I saw him, I shake his hand, he'd never grip me back. And one day I just happened to ask him. He said, I know my daughter told you that I was a Mason. He said, but I'm not active. And I'd be disrespecting the order to grip you or even look for any type of recognition or acknowledgement, and I'm not active. I said, I can respect that.
But that's what you were saying earlier in regards to that. Even if you all Masons should be active in somebody's lodge, and one that they feel welcome and not just tolerated.
Well, what we do now is we've gotten to the point now where we're so buddy, and if you're not if you're not here socializing and coming to this and coming to that, then, they don't want you around. That's never been the order, because I look at it like this. What if you didn't have all of that? What if we didn't have phones? What if we didn't have any of that? You wouldn't see me but meeting time anyway, unless we were in the streets together. Yeah. But we don't look at it like that. If I don't see you, then man, where you been? Man, you don't come to nothing. What you mean I don't come to nothing? You don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
If I'm excused for work, God, and family. If I'm doing one of those three, why are you sweating where I've been when all you're looking for is my currency? You don't call to say how you doing, man. Listen, I hadn't seen you in a while. I'm just checking on your wellness check, blah blah blah. Whatever happened to the wellness check? We don't do that anymore.
Right.
We check about the wellness of that bank account because we need something, and that's why a lot of brothers leave. You didn't leave because everybody's sleeping around. They been sleeping around since King died. You didn't leave because of that. You didn't leave because they ain't teaching nothing. You wasn't studying in school. You just thought it was going to be easy.
Yeah. And and here's the thing. A lot of individuals that come into the Masons and also the Eastern Stars, a lot of young ladies that come into the Eastern Stars, and a lot of men that come into Freemasonry think it's going to be easy. They believe it's going to be easy. But when they get into it, they find out if you're in the right lodge, it's not going to be easy. If you're in the right chapter, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult for you to move forward. It's going to be difficult for you to sit and grasp, because they're going to make it where you're going to have to give lectures. You're going to have to participate. And this is what happens a lot of time in some lodges. Time you come in, they want to give you the tickets to the banquet. They want to give you the tickets to the barbecue dinner without actually giving you instructions first. And so this is what you get a lot of times, as you were saying earlier about bringing different people in. We have to be careful of those individuals, be it a sister or a brother who we bring in. I yield the floor.
Yeah, I mean, it's always it's not a difficult thing. A lot of us are at a point where we don't like change. And that's always funny for me. You jumped in Obama's draws about change and used his mantra, but you won't do that with self. You've been doing the same stuff for years. You've been doing the same same things for years. You bring in brothers who are completely green to the order. You really don't want them talking to people who are proficient. So if you're the only one talking to them, then then they only know what you're telling them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when I only know what you tell me, then that means I'm your slave. That happens when we're in school.
Mm-hmm.
You get these degrees in these disciplines, and you're no smarter than the man whose course it is. Well, hell, you got a sociology degree, but you can't solve the social economic problems in the world.
Mm.
You came out of school in debt with an accounting or finance degree, and the man whose course you took can't solve the financial problems of the world. So, I mean, what is it that you're really doing? You just got firewood on the wall.
You just got firewood on the wall.
That's all you got on the wall.
Go ahead.
You know, I mean, I was listening to a cat tell me, he said, if you got a smartphone in your hand, what you in school for?
Mm.
I can ask Google anything I want to know, because Google is no different than Encyclopedia Britannica for those of us over 40 that know what it is.
Yeah, baby. They cost you about $500 or $600 if you want the whole set.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. You know, so it's you know, it's when I see a brother with a hat on or what have you,
mm-hmm.
most of the time I watch him. Not that he's beneath me I watch him to see, you know, I greet him, how you doing, you know, and I leave it at that. I shake every brother's hand the same. I shake every sister's hand the same. Mm-hmm. She either knows or she doesn't know. And, you know, I don't get into all this covering up and pulling all in. No, how you doing? I shake and I hit that knuckle. Or I hit the sister where she's supposed to be hit at. They either know or they don't know. And, you know, I let your conduct, I let your walk show what you're supposed to be about.
Absolutely.
Because I do the same thing. We all come up short. We all fall short. I'm not the epitome of all Masons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am who I am. Period. And you either respect me or you don't. You don't have to accept me. There's a difference. You're not going to disrespect me because somebody else told you I'm clandestine to you. Who are you talking to? Well, you ain't wait a minute. You ain't fed nobody since you've been in the order. Mm. I fed 150 out of my own stove and off my own dime. Mm. How you gonna tell me what I am?
Wow.
You got 65, 70 people in your lodge and you fed 45 people. Mm-hmm. When five people can feed 150 or better.
That's true.
Like I said, that same thing I said. Take 10 lodges and 10 chapters. Even if I don't care how many members they got, if they all found in the building in the city they live in and fed them, what kind of character do you think you show right then?
Oh yeah.
Not the whole Grand Lodge feed a city block.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about go around the city and say, hey, listen, we want to do some charity. You know, we raise a couple dollars, and this is what we want to do for y'all. Mm-hmm. And leave it at that. It's either respected or it isn't. You know, it's either respected or it isn't. You either want to do it or you don't. So we put it all on the drill and drama, the books. You know, he don't know nothing. He don't know nothing. I'm an advocate about knowing something for you to be able to say you are such.
Hey, just a second. So I'm reading this post. This brother just posted up. He said that he spent close to $2,000 annually just on Masonic t-shirts that he wear every day. And then he turns around and says, he said his lodge dues is over $700 a year. His hospital dues are over $1,500 a year. I don't know about the hospital dues, but lodge dues over $700 a year?
Ask him, does he have a Grand Lodge?
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
No, I'm asking seriously. If he has a Grand Lodge, if he has a building, if he had now, and I'm being dead serious. If he does not have, if he don't have 500 people in the building, and I'm talking about a building, I ain't talking about a storefront. I'm talking about a building like St. John.
Right.
If he don't have, if in order for you to be paying that type of money, Something going on.
Some brother.
Something going on.
A lot is going on with that type of money.
Somebody rent being paid.
Shit, they mortgage too.
Rent being paid.
Their mortgage also depends on where they at. But hey, look, we're gonna go ahead and call it a night, man. I appreciate you coming on, getting involved. Hey, next week. I
should have said a word. I never should have texted.
Hey,
I never should have said a text.
Hey, no, bro. Let me tell you why. Cause next week I got Jarvis coming on. I think it's Thursday or Friday. I got Jarvis coming on.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm glad you was able to give me that number, and he can definitely speak on a lot of things as far as the primitive rights, as far as his visitation in foreign jurisdictions, because he's done that. So it would be an honor definitely to have Jarvis to come on the show and
we'll be in Greece next year.
Oh, okay, definitely. Yeah, I gotta have you. I may have to have you come back when I got him on. Oh yeah, that's gonna be hot. Right, that's gonna be hot like Crisco grease.
All right, bro.
All right, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. So for those of you who are just tuning in, that was Brother Chris Jackson. He's always welcome to come on to the show, just like anybody else. He has that line opening. So definitely, I want to say I appreciate him coming on to the show. And for the other brother who called in, I want to say thank you for calling in. Let me see. Let me see if I can go back and get his name real quick. I don't want to get him in no trouble. But I'll just say thank you for calling in. How about that? I'll leave it at that out of respect. So tonight we had a great conversation. This show is all about who can vouch for you, be it an Eastern Star, be it a Mason. And we all should have someone that is willing to vouch for us. Our character should carry us in such a way that individual would know exactly who we are and what we all about. And that's what truly Mason is. And let's just look at it from the point of view. And when I was talking earlier in regards to being, in regards to recognition, the true essence of that word, and being regular, the true essence of that word, because a lot of times we take words out of term and what they really mean. So tonight, as always, I hope that you got something out of this show. And I'm glad to have those who participated to call in. And this is what it's all about. This show is that platform to where if you feel you want to call in, be it that you're not a Mason or Eastern Star, or be it that you are a Mason or Eastern Star. This platform here is not about your jurisdiction, but it's about educating, it's about developing, it's about putting the word out, it's about the craft and the order as a whole. So on behalf of John G. Jones, Lodge number 147, Research Lodge number 147, I am your host for this show, Brother Tony Hawkins. Some like to call me Brother Tony Muhammad. I'll take either one, and roll with it. So until I see you and meet you and greet you in person, God bless you. And pretty soon I'll be in a state near you. Trust and believe that. So we out of here. And as always, keep your light on and stay out the bushes. Peace and be well.